When a person taps the key fob to a reader, a computer identifies if the user is authorized. If the user is authorized, then the system unlocks access to the area. If the user is not authorized, the entry point will just simply not open. Most key fob systems also keep a record of the fobs being used with the time and date for documentation. This can be helpful if an incident occurs and needs to be investigated. A radio receiver or transmitter system. This technology is easiest to describe by referencing the standard garage door opener or a handheld transmitter. A radio receiver with an antenna is installed at the gate to be controlled, which then receives the signal from the transmitter and opens the gate. Barcode scanner systems operate by projecting a beam across the roadway. The scanner reads a barcode label affixed to the vehicle to determine authorization. A radio frequency reader is installed in the ground by the gate, and it's angled to read the entering vehicles. When a vehicle approaches, a radio signal is sent from the transponder inside the vehicle, which is typically on the driver's side dashboard. If the data transmitted is approved, the gate will open for the driver to go through. These systems have a high and fast read rate and are used in many gated communities today. License plate recognition systems use infrared cameras to read license plates of vehicles entering the community. A camera captures a series of pictures of the license plate and sends them to a processor to determine if the license is authorized for entry. License plate recognition systems can be found at some communities but are not as widely used today. Plus, they only take a picture of the license plate, not the entire vehicle and the driver. Let's talk about property and security systems. Security alarms are yet another tool available to community associations to help prevent crime and secure residents. Alarms can be broken down into two categories: community perimeter intrusion detection systems and residential security systems. Community perimeter security. The perimeter security system for a community is the first line of defense against unauthorized access. This security system allows the perimeter of a community to be electronically monitored from a centralized location. The monitoring of a perimeter can consist of a variety of different devices, from camera systems, motion detectors, or even sensors on a fence that detect a presence when touched. Typically, as an intruder crosses the perimeter line, an alarm is activated. The alarm notifies the security officers of the breach so that they can dispatch a patrol or police officer to investigate. Community perimeter cameras typically have a mixture of technologies that are monitored from a centralized location. A pan, tilt, zoom, or frequently known as a PTZ camera, should be used to cover long distances of a community. This type of camera gives the ability to view 360 degrees around the camera's location, as well as zooming in and out to see long distances. For areas that don't need a PTZ camera, stationary cameras can be used. These cameras are effective in areas like building access points, parking lots, or entry points. Both types of cameras can be installed in plain sight. Perimeter cameras that are installed in plain sight not only provide the ability to view objects around the perimeter, but they also act as a deterrent to possible intruders. Community buildings also need a surveillance system. These can be inside and outside of the buildings. The exterior cameras cover the entry points to the building, and any delivery areas, as well as the parking lot. Interior cameras cover the common areas and all exit points in the building. Shopping areas typically have a camera viewing the cash registers also. Lighting. Streetlights and proper community lighting will improve visibility at night and will help keep a gated community more secure. When your community has good visibility at night, it will deter criminals from committing any crimes because they'll know that it'll be easy for them to get caught. Although the perimeter of the community may have a security system protecting the association, the residents typically have a security system installed in their homes also. In most cases, the design of a residential security system is not too complex. A standard security system consists of a security panel, a door or window contact, motion detectors, smoke detectors, an interior siren, and security keypads. When triggered, an alarm will sound and notify a monitoring center. Consult with your post instructions or supervisor to determine your duties concerning alarms at your post. In a gated community, there can be many different types of vehicles used with a security patrol. These can include things such as cars or vehicles, golf carts, bicycles, mopeds or scooters, or even Segways. Many vehicles are kept equipped with an automated external defibrillator, or AED, and medical supplies in accordance with your state rules. It's also a good idea to keep a fire extinguisher in the vehicle for emergency situations. No matter what type of security vehicle is being used, it should be clearly marked as security with acceptable flashing lights as approved by your state. No passenger should ever be allowed in a vehicle unless your post orders allow for it. This could be a liability. You should always inspect a vehicle at the start and at the end of a shift, noting any problems found in your report. And never speed while driving a security vehicle. You should also help keep the vehicle clean. A clean car is important to your company's image. Let's talk about patrolling. Some gated communities may require that you perform a mobile patrol of the property. Security officers patrolling a community should constantly monitor inside the community for risks. Your post instructions will indicate the appropriate rules concerning your patrolling of a gated community. However, some of the basic patrol duties in a gated community might include conduct foot and vehicle patrols, patrol the premises and enforce the community rules, patrol parking lots and enforce parking rules, proactively alert potential issues to the management or your supervisor. Let's go over some of the basic techniques to know about mobile patrolling. Before a criminal can commit a crime, there have to be 3 elements in place. There needs to be the desire, the knowledge, and the opportunity to commit a crime. The desire. Now, there's not much you or anyone else can do to take away someone's desire to commit a crime. The knowledge. Here again, once someone knows how to commit a crime, you can't erase their memory. The opportunity. Now, this is the one that you can definitely have an effect on. Security patrol cars have lettering on both sides identifying them as a security vehicle, and some even have light bars on the roof, both of which help reduce the opportunity. When someone sees the patrol car, they know that it's a security patrol. Criminals see patrol cars as a barrier between them committing a crime. This doesn't mean that a bold criminal will not commit a crime, but it sure does help reduce the opportunity. Okay, I went over crime essentials. Now I want to go over some of the tactics that you can use when patrolling. Basically, it's just using all of your senses. Observe, deter, detection, report, common sense, such as see, hear, smell, touch, and taste. Those are the most important common senses. Let's take observation first. When you're patrolling, look around and pay attention to detail. Be more observant than you would be normally. By itself, observation is not sufficient. You need to know what to look for. For example, signs of tampering, safety hazards, suspicious persons, lights on that should be off, or lights off that should be on. Part of observation is using your ears. Listen for unusual sounds like footsteps in the building that are supposed to be empty, or even the absence of sound. This is how you provide information as to what happened. Reports can be verbal, written, or both. Obviously, a verbal report is the quickest way to relay what happened. They should always be followed up with a written report. Reports should be made on incident reports, daily log forms, or in your notebook according to your company's policy. Using an incident report makes it a lot easier to be accurate. Keep in mind that incident reports are often used as evidence in criminal trials, lawsuits, and even depositions. So you need to always be truthful and don't exaggerate, and make sure that they're legible and easy for people to read. Never patrol the same area at the same time. Patrolling at the same time will set up a pattern, giving criminals an advantage of knowing when you're going to be there and when you're not going to be there. Mobile patrol procedures will vary from post to post. Most posts will have post instructions listing the specific duties that are required. As a mobile patrol officer, you'll be continually exposing yourself to quick light changes. For example, in the daylight hours, you might be driving in and out of an underground garage and then have to drive out into the bright sunshine. Or even the reverse. You could leave a bright lobby and then have to walk out into the dark night. These light changes have an effect on your vision, and that's known as pupillary light reflex. Pupillary light reflex controls the pupil of your eye. The fact is that the eyes can take approximately up to 20 to 30 minutes to fully adapt bright sunlight to a complete darkness, and vice versa. If you ever feel like you're having light reflex, stand still for a few minutes before continuing your patrol. If you happen to find yourself searching for a suspect in a very dark building, don't focus on the colors of objects because in low light, things are much harder to identify by color. Be alert for any sense of movement. You should be able to guess reasonably well as to what's moving by looking at the outline. Since there are very few 6-foot rats, you'll know what's human and what's not. Never look into approaching headlights. Even a brief glimpse of high beam headlights can have an effect on your night vision. I know it's hard to avoid, but when that happens, shift your focus towards the lower part of your windshield area, close to the curb, until the oncoming car passes. When working at night writing reports inside your patrol car, try to minimize your use of the bright lights. If you're using a high wattage flashlight, the combination of the bright light on the white paper, that could give you pupillary light reflex. Let's go over some other types of patrols.